The Vivo X100 Ultra finally got OriginOS 6, and in this video I will show you a few of those features that came with OriginOS 6, and of course we will also answer the question if the camera quality has been decreased. So let's get started. So the first new feature you saw already on the start, it's the new lock screen. So you have various different angles that I can put it on, and it's changing the colors here. Actually, it's changing the wallpapers of this lock screen. So what you can do is just hit on edit here, and you can choose then your lock screen. You can go in here and choose the various different images that you want to appear, and there are very different other styles available here as well that you can choose. Few with 3D effect as well, and some more that you can download, or like this for example, which looks super cool and has this nice option there, and you can see how it will look like on the lock screen, like it will look like on the AOD screen, and then on the screen itself you can make it blur if you want to. I like it blurry usually, it makes it more pop, and I cannot change the text here, for example, but I can change the clock style if I want to something else. But this one suits very much. I click on apply, and a few seconds later it applies this one, and we can go in here and you will see how it will look like now in full. And if I close it down, this is how it will look like, and there we have the AOD, and there we have the nice animation. So very cool that we have those nice animations here. Talking about animations, the second option is here, the fluid animations. They were already very fluid in the previous version of the operating system, but they have revamped the animations together with the new styling that has a bit of a glassy kind of feeling. Liquid glass reminds me a lot of this one, and you can of course have the possibility to tune this in Mute Cube like you would have the possibility to do so in earlier versions. So I have the possibility to make everything a bit more rounded from the icons, bigger from the size, and this is possible here as well with the icon style. I have the rounded versions here now, can make it like a bit different looking if I want to, less round for example. All those possibilities I have here with this one are available here. There are some themes that I can choose directly. I showed you already the AOD themes. Those are applying also here, and you have the possibility to use even some flip card styles like I showed you before, which is quite cool, and some other themes. The animations are very fluid, and they optimize them even further. So if you open up an application like EasyShare for example, you see how nice and fluid those animations are coming by, and how cool this is to open up stuff. The folder animations are also very nicely done here. It reminds me of another operating system, yeah, who knows. Anyway, this is very cool. Number 3 is multitasking. You know this style, you know we have the option to change it to this style, but did you know that there is another option available now, the iOS way stack style? So if you activate this, you get like this kind of style that has been taken over from iOS already. I think ColorOS has this option, macOS 10 has this option, and now OriginOS 6 also has this option here. So what do you think about the iOSification of OriginOS? And we're not finished there. The Origin Island also has been revamped. So if you have like a timer running, you see we have the OriginOS Island there. It also has like a nice effect, a more glassy kind of effect. And if you play back some different music files, for example, I'm not sure if I have something in here that I can play back. Let's just play back something here and go in here. It will appear here as well. So we have this timer there, and we have the music there as well that we can control if we want to, and it has this nice animation there. So a bit of unique styling they did, but it's still, when it comes to island implementations, not my favorite one. The only thing that is pretty cool is, and I can use those photos, is I can drag a photo out and put it into here to share directly to an email, to my Facebook feed, or Vivo Share, or such things, which is quite cool. I'm not sure why you want to use it with Vivo Share, because there's a share button as well that you can use, but it's a possibility that you have there with the Vivo Dynamic Island client of Clone Origin Island, I think it's called. So what do you think about this one here? Let's dive a little bit into the camera and some new features here. Not much has changed with the camera UI. A few features have been changed, but one thing that is, I think, new is in live photo. When I create a live photo, I have the possibility to watch this live photo there, and now in the gallery application I can create a video out of this live photo. I think it wasn't possible earlier, so save as video or GIF. And this is now possible here as well, which is quite cool if you are doing a lot of live wallpapers. Then another cool but somehow stupid feature, if you're in the gallery app and you want to share some full files, I have now 3 files I can shake, and we have the shake for group sharing. So if everyone is sharing, I can share those photos to multiple Vivo users. I have to agree here, and this would then share this very easily to a group of people who are shaking their phones as well. What I'm sadly still missing are some camera features that were introduced to the X300 Pro. Like, for example, if you have a log video, you don't have the option to convert it to Rec 709, just to convert it to standard colors, so it would remove the HDR, so from 10-bit create 8-bit. That's all that you can do. So this is for some strange reason missing, and I don't know, it's computing power, and I don't think it is some issue there. It's just a feature that they're withholding from older devices. Otherwise, more interesting for some people is the before and after. So the latest OriginOS 5 versus OriginOS 6 now on the X100 Ultra in terms of cameras and photos. I took some photos before doing the update and after I did the update, and let's analyze them together now here on the Vivo X100 Ultra. So here we have them side by side. On the left we have the OS 5, on the right we have the OS 6. Do we see much of a difference there? Actually, the ISO is the difference here, which is quite interesting. So for some reason, at this 2x shot of the Christmas tree, it's still standing here, 1/33 of a second on both, same aperture of course, but 2066 ISO on the OS 5 version. OS 6 has 735. So what you can see here and expect is a bit of a cleaner, sharper picture, not so much denoised. Both are not so sharp, I have to say, but it's looking better on the OS 6 than on OS 5 for some reason. And just to check out if this is like a huge difference here, shot with 10x on both. Do we see huge processing differences? Now it's quite interesting. Again, we have a bit of a higher ISO on OS 5, a bit of lower on the OS 6, but OS 6 is also going down a bit with the shutter speed. So do we have any big difference there in terms of processing and colors? I think it is a bit sharper on the, even though it is a lower shutter speed, it is a bit sharper on the OS 6 version than on the OS 5 version. And both use the same settings, so I have enabled the AI processing that helps with longer zoom ranges. We have a bit of different processing as you see here, but it's not big enough of a difference that I would say it's a huge downgrade from OS 5 to OS 6. In actuality, I think it looks a bit sharper and better on OS 6, so I will take OS 6 for this matter here. And when you zoom in even further, you can see this was already darker than this one here, but it's getting way darker. Where this is also getting a bit darker, but not as much. Why is that the case? For some reason, OS 5 is 1/100th of a second, where here it's 1/33th of a second. ISO is much higher on the OS 5, and this also leads to more noise and denoising algorithms. Brighter picture, a little bit more detail again on OS 6. Maybe OS 6 is doing it better. I don't know. You be the judge. This is 345 millimeter, I think 20 or 15x, something like this. Then Timmy, I tried to get him at the same time, but it's very hard, and I had to do the update on one device because I don't have. But it's the same lighting, same, just 10 minutes apart from each other. And again, the ISO is different, but the shutter speed is the same, quite interestingly. Sharpness and detail levels, white balance, first of all, a bit more yellowish on the OS 6, a bit more whitish on OS 5, but it might be due to the scene being slightly different and a bit more ground here or floor on OS 6. Otherwise, sharpness and detail levels very cool on both. But here I would say there I see a slight improvement sharper shot on OS 5 than on OS 6, at least on the nose. Maybe it's just a focusing thing. Then selfie here taken with 35mm, not with the selfie cam, but with the main camera sensor. OS 5 and OS 6, do we see much of a difference? Yes, color-wise there is a difference. You see here that my face is a bit warmer here and here. So they change slightly in terms of color. So I have a bit of a warmer face here in OS 5, and in OS 6 have a bit of sharper eyebrows there and a bit more realistic color. So the mustard kind of face color is gone on OS 6, which is quite interesting. Sharpness and detail levels, however, basically identical. That's the only difference. You can see it's a bit cooler. This is a bit warmer. That's the only difference that I noticed between those two shots. And then the next shot, this is then now a selfie. And with the selfie camera and basically identical settings there, you can see that both are doing a fine job. I think in colors, maybe again, slightly warmer, slightly cooler, but it might be just a fluke or because it's slightly different angle as you see. I try to match it, but it's like a bit hard. And in terms of detail levels and sharpness, I think very, very much the same, not much of a difference between those two. So do I notice a huge downgrade on OS 6 versus OS 5? No, I can definitely tell you it is, if there is a downgrade, it's a slight difference in terms of white balance here and there. I think face colors are a bit cooler now. Sharpness maybe on faces are a bit more processed looking there. And overall, also the 10x shots that I did here shows maybe better shutter speeds for this still objects that led to a bit more details there, just because the ISO is not so high, but the rest is very comparable with each other. I don't see a huge difference between OS 5 and OS 6 here in these shots. There's slight difference in processing, and I think they are maybe sharpening a bit more up on OS 6 than they were on OS 5, but take this with a grain of salt. It's basically indistinguishable, and everyone that tries to tell you OS 5 is so much better, downgrade to OS 5 because OS 6 is ruining everything. I cannot agree with this, because the latest OS 5 version that I had with now the new OS 6 version is basically identical, if not even improved in my opinion on OS 6 a little bit, especially on this shot where I think the white balance also is a bit better there. But yeah, this is my opinion and my experience so far between those two. So this was my quick take on OS 6, OriginOS 6 on here, Vivo X100 Ultra. What is your experience? Are you planning to upgrade to OriginOS 6 on your Vivo, either X100 Ultra or X100 Pro? I think you should also get it. Or did you already do it on the X200 Pro? And how is your experience, especially when it comes to cameras? Write it down in the comment section. That's everything for this video. Hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Until the next time. Bye.